Hello and welcome to Dice Jester's Spooky Season Edition. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And today, Dave will be showing me the game Parade,
which I am so excited for. So there's a few things that I'm excited for. So one, it's Alice in Wonderland themed. Two, it has kind of like a cute little thing on the back. Very cute. Very nice. And then the third reason that I'm excited to play Parade is because when I had first got into the board gaming journey, did I say it right? Yes, board gaming journey, you said, oh, I have credits from turning in a game or a few games at this one board gaming cafe. We should go there. We should look at games so I can use my credits. I said, okay, cool. So we go in there, and without any knowledge of absolutely any board games at that time, you said, pick any game you like based off of anything. And I was looking around, and this box was standing alone. And I said, oh, is this Alice in Wonderland themed? And you said, yeah. And I said, I want this one. This is the one. And you said, yeah, Parade is actually a really good choice. And we had discussed it. I was like, why is Parade a good choice? And you said, because it's harder to find. So yeah, let's get this one while we can. And so we did. And we hadn't played it, hadn't looked at it, hadn't done anything with it. It was still in the wrapper. Yeah. Until right now.
It's been sitting
It has
on the
been
shelf.
Sitting. I think it's been sitting on the shelf waiting for this moment.
It has been waiting for this moment.
It has been.
I was excited when we found this because I've heard about this game for a really long time. I don't even know when it came out. I've never played this game before, but I've always thought it looked cool.
So I don't know if board games work the same way as books, but it says 2015 right here.
Yeah.
So is that when it came out? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it came out in 2015. It's by Z-Man Games. It is a 2 to 6 player game, 8+, but you can teach younger. You don't have to wait till 8. And it says this should take about 45 minutes. And then what is in the box is 66 cards, a score pad, a rule book, and it has a little, is it called a prelogue?
A prelogue?
Is that what they're called? Where it has a little story?
Oh, a prologue.
Oh, yes.
A prologue. It has a backstory to it?
Yes.
It says it on the back of the box?
I don't know. I'll read it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll read it. You can tell me.
Oh, okay.
So the back of the box says, part of a series of deluxe classic card games, Parade transports you to Wonderland, just in time for a grand event. All in costumes, people walk in the streets. Try to keep everyone in the parade by not wearing the same costume as those already present. If you do, people will leave the parade with a negative attitude. Now, why can't we just all get along? Which is true. Why can't we all just get along? But it's really funny that people are very particular about it. Did you want to look at it all before I open it?
Oh, no, I've looked at the box already. And I'm even just looking at the cover, I guess why do you think this is a good fit for a spooky season game? And I kind of have my own answer.
So I think it's a good fit because the art kind of has, when you're looking at the Cheshire Cat, or just in general, the cover for the most part, but particularly where your eyes are drawn, it's on the Cheshire Cat's eyes.
Yeah.
And looking at it just kind of has that subtle eerie theme to it.
I think so.
And personally, I have a rendition of Alice that is more horror themed, which I have been wanting to watch with you. It just so happens to be like 2 hours long.
I'm down.
But it is the best Alice I have ever seen. So we should watch it. But yeah, I always thought that Alice in Wonderland always had slight spooky undertones. So that's why I thought it was a good choice. But
I think so too. And like Alice in Wonderland, you just see a lot of Alice stuff around Halloween, whether people dressing up in some of the various characters. But I have seen the artwork in this game, and I'm excited to look at it with you because it kind of has that darker Alice look to it, which I know that you really like.
Yes, I dressed up as Alice in Wonderland a few times for Halloween.
Did you?
I did. I did.
It's amazing. I've always loved it. Did you know I was in an Alice in Wonderland play when I was in the first grade?
Oh, really?
I had to audition.
Oh, you had to audition?
I had to sing a song.
Okay.
And I got a non-speaking role. I don't know what that says about my acting or singing abilities. Aww. But I was the 9 of diamonds, I think.
Oh, you were the 9 of diamonds?
I was in a couple of scenes where I came out, and that was my moment of fame. I haven't been in a play since, so.
I love that you said that you had an audition and you sang and they gave you a non-speaking.
Yeah, completely non-speaking.
That is so sad.
With strict instructions to not talk.
You coughed in the background and they said, "Hey, number 9.
Yeah. You're replaceable, number 9.
Yes.
We don't care if you call in sick.
Oh, I would care. All right, let's open this box. The box itself, like the art. Oh, look at the inside.
It's yellow
yeah,
on the
I
inside.
like that. I love that.
I just love little touches, even with the boxes itself.
Yes. So for the art, it kind of gives me Cuphead vibes.
Does it?
Yeah, like the cat. So right now I'm looking at the rule book. I'm looking at rule book, parade, and on top of it, it is the cat. And then as I go through it, it has some of the art pieces. And I guess not all of them remind me of Cuphead. It's just more so the cat.
The cat.
Yeah. Oh, look how cute. It has a different drawing on the inside where the cat looks like Lulu Bean. Look at it. Look at him all happy on the tree. That looks like Lulu Bean.
It does. It does.
It does.
I like that art style, though. And I love that the rulebook is even cardstock rather than just the generic thin paper. What do we call that?
I love how the hair has like a swirly eye as opposed to just a normal hair eye, like a normal rabbit eye. That's fun. It's very fun. Examples for scoring. I don't know. I'm sure you'll explain this to me. So
I've read the rulebook.
I'll let you explain it to me.
That sounds like Dave's job.
Sounds like a not me thing. Oh, and it has a little score pad that's really cute. It has a purple border, and in that purple border there is white writing that says parade, and there is also a white smile and white eyes of the Cheshire Cat.
You know, I appreciate when games include scoring pads. I know that we don't use them that much. We use our phones, but just the idea that if you just truly want to unplug and not use any technology, I guess you could just use your brain. You calculate it, but I don't know. It's just a nice touch that I appreciate.
I love the top of these cards because of the top of these cards. Is that what that's called? Is this
the back? Yeah.
Oh, the back, I guess. Okay. So the back of the card resembles the box cover. So it has the hairs on it. I think they're trying to do like a mix of a hare, like the mad hare and the white rabbit. And it has the yellow accents. It has the same hearts. I like it. I like how it's all uniformed and it's really beautiful. Like all the little
It's really pretty.
flowers. Okay. We have Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
We have Alice. Oh, they have different numbers on them. Huh. Okay. We have the Mad Hatter. Oh, look at the Cheshire Cat. I love that the Cheshire Cat has different colors. Like, it's not the bright purple with the semi-darker purple.
Just the stereotypical Cheshire Cat.
Yeah, it's like a unique Cheshire Cat. I like that. It really resembles Lupin. Like, he has the big bum and the cute fluffy tail. He's really cute. I should call Lupin.
I just realized this might be the first strictly card game that we've played together.
Strictly card game. We played San Juan.
That's true, but San Juan had tiles and stuff. This is just a deck of cards.
We played Dominion.
I'm trying to break my brain here, Julie.
Obviously, Dave.
I guess Dominion, when you distill it down, is just a card game.
I know you have cards in different piles, but that is... Oh, look at the dodo! You're my dodo, Dave.
Oh.
You know, dodos.
But I guess if I'm to keep defending myself here, this game is just a deck of cards that you shuffle and go. I guess San Juan is probably the closest thing to that, but...
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I don't know the rules, so I can't particularly say anything. I mean, we can play Speed. I've been wanting to play Speed, Dave.
Speed gives me
anxiety, as it
should.
As it should.
I'm just not. I'm not good at Speed, but I'm not good at thinking fast. You're really a fast thinker.
Sometimes.
Yeah. What do you like the art?
Yeah, I think it's nice. So, and it is interesting that they mix the hare and the white rabbit together. Like, instead of having the white rabbit, they have a hare dressed in the white rabbit's coat. That's a hare.
Oh, okay. So different.
Oh, yes, they are. They are different. So, David, tell me, what are the rules? How do you play? What do we do?
Yeah, so this game I had to read through a few times because it's kind of wonky, which fits the theme.
Kind of
Alice in
wonky.
Wonderland. And I love that the rulebook even says Wonderland is a topsy-turvy place. But the goal of the game is to score as few points as possible.
Wait, as few?
Yeah, you don't. It's like golf. You don't want a high score.
Okay.
So there'll be a line of cards, and on your turn, you're going to take a card from your hand and place it at the back of the parade, which is the line of cards.
Okay.
And then based on the number that you place, that'll determine which cards potentially could come into your not hand, but your play area. Mm-hmm. So if you lay down a 3, for example, the 3 cards after that and thereafter will be eligible potentially to come into your play area. And then you look at, I think it's which cards are higher value than the card that you placed, or something. I'll have to reread before we play. But you're like looking at the values of the cards, and then if the color matches or the card is of a certain value, I think higher than what you placed, that will go into your play area. And then at the end of the game, we'll both look at who has the most number of cards in each of those colors, and whoever has the most cards will flip those cards over, and each card will be 1 point. And then whoever had the least number of cards, the value of those cards will be added up. There's some like wonky stuff in this, but you're basically playing a card from your hand to the parade, mm-hmm. and then taking cards back from the parade based on the card that you played. So there's a little bit of like deciding what color to play, what like high or low card, and trying to not gain cards into your area.
It's kind of like when she becomes tall and when she becomes small.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like the back and forth. No, I love that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll play it a few times through so we can see how fast it takes for us to understand this game. So do we understand it in 1 round, or does it take us about 3 rounds?
Yeah.
Or maybe we do 10. Who knows?
We'll probably do 10.
But we see how it goes, see how easy it is to learn, see how difficult it is, see how fun, and the replayability of it.
Yeah.
So the drink that I have prepared for you today, Dave, you're going to love this. And if you don't, that is A-okay. I will drink it for you. So,
it's okay.
Halloween themed, spooky season theme. Back in Wisconsin, we always went apple picking around this time.
Apple picking.
We went apple picking. And so you would make like caramel apples out of them. And what I have for you today, David, is ice cream. So vanilla ice cream with caramel topped with cider. So then you get that apple caramel cool taste.
What does this have to do with Alice?
Oh. No, it just has to do with spooky season. The season. The season of spooks.
It's the reason for the season.
It tastes crisp, and it tastes like a candy apple. You know what? If you don't want it, that's fine. You don't have to have it. That's okay, Dave.
I would love to have it.
Okay.
And I'd love to play this game with you if you'd like.
Yes, I would love to learn it. So let us play it a few times through, see how we enjoy it, see all of those little things, and then we'll report back.
Sounds good.
Back after a few plays. I think we did 7, right? Because I was like, ooh, unlucky number 7.
So fitting for Halloween.
Right. But 7 is a lucky number for some people, so whatever. But we were thinking of the spooky theme, so here we are. So I believe you did win, Dave. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
It's not about who won.
Right.
It's about the journey.
Who won. So I'm going to give a brief overview of how I learned the game. I know that you kind of gave the rules and like regulations of it, but I just after playing it, I just want to give kind of more of an in-depth type deal since we aren't doing a 10 by 10 type episode, I guess. So basically for this game, especially if you're playing 2 players, I don't know more than 2 players. Dave and I do 2 players. There's only 2 of us.
That's what we do.
Unless Lupin wants to join in, but I'm sure Lupin's not going to be the best of the game.
He loves joining us.
Lupin's looking at me like, excuse you?
Although I think he's Team Dave.
Well, we're going to have to talk about that offline. I'm thinking he's Team Dave. I am his mommy. Okay, but anyways, so this game is you shuffle the cards that you get, deal 5 cards to each player, and then for a 2-player game, I'm not sure outside a 2-player, but for a 2-player game, you lay 6 cards straight for the parade, and then you go back and forth. So let's say I have a 10 card in my hand, I place the 10 card down, and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If there's a card after 10, I look at the number. If it's 10 and or the same color or lower, I have to grab all of those cards and put them into my personal parade. And the objective of the game is to have the least amount of points. So you can build your parade however you want, but if you get repeats, you need to be mindful because that's going to add points to your scorecard that you want to keep as low as possible. And I think a big strategy of this game that I had was I was testing different things just because Dave and I don't mind playing a game 20 times until we get something. But for this one, we played 7. So I was testing a few strategies, and I didn't really understand the game until I would say the 3rd round. The first round, I just kind of played, and I think I lost the first round, right?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if we played correctly the first time.
It just didn't feel right. But then the second round, I started to get into the groove of it. And then by the 3rd round, I understood the strategy of the game and the end goal of the game. So then I started to think of different aspects that I could play. And those 2 aspects were, 1, finish the game as soon as possible by collecting all 6 colors. And 2, Yep, that was one of them. And 2 was trying to not get any cards and see if you would finish the game. Did any of them work for me? I would say it was 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my win percentage out of the 7, I lost, technically.
You did. I noticed that every game you played a little bit differently. It was cool to see you testing the different strategies that this game has to offer. And I loved within a card game like this. This is like the perfect example of a game that I love. That at first glance, the rules are a little bit weird, and you think like, oh, this is all there is to the game. All I'm doing is playing a card and then checking to see which cards I pull into my personal parade. But then you realize there are all these layers beneath that of, do I rush the game to try to collect all 6 colors? Do I hold back on playing colors and try to collect fewer cards? Or do I try to collect cards to have more than the other person so that I don't score as many points because I can flip them over if I have the majority? Mm-hmm. So it's like this push and pull of watching what your opponent's doing. To go back to the 2-player variant, the setup is exactly the same, but the cool part about the 2-player game that I didn't even realize, I don't think we played it correctly the first time, but the only difference for a 2-player game is with the end game scoring, that you have to have 2 or more cards of a color than the other player to have the majority. Mm-hmm. Whereas with more players, it doesn't matter. As long as you are the same or more than other players, then you get to flip it over. Mm-hmm. So I thought there was just a lot of watching what you were taking and then trying to force you to take those cards and holding back at the right times.
Yeah.
And it was a very interactive, fun game.
It was very interactive. It was a mix of luck and strategy. It really genuinely took me by surprise because the first 2 rounds we played, I ended those rounds thinking, wow, this is a very easy, very straightforward game.
Sure.
And then the 3rd round, I thought to myself, wait, this is deeper than I thought. So I was looking at my cards and I thought to myself, why am I trying to rush it? Why am I trying to gather all of the end game cards? Why am I trying to get all 6 colors while Dave's sitting here with the majority in yellow, which means he would have the majority, so all of those points would be 1 instead of what the card shows.
Yeah. Meaning
that he would end the game with 5 points while I have every single color on the board, and every single color has a point. Even though, for example, our last round, I had to finish it forcefully due to what cards were drawn. Yeah. And you sat there with all yellows for the longest time.
Yeah. The pacing of this game is so interesting because, like you said, with the rushing thing, I did that 1 or 2 games, and the games that I started to rush forward, I looked and saw that you had fewer cards, and I had to pull myself back and think, how do I slow down my progress? Because I don't want to end up in a situation where I draw that 6th color, because that's what ends the game. So I'm going to try to avoid getting that 6th color. What cards are in my hand that I can play to grab the right cards to add to colors that I already have, but the right colors that I already have to keep within those majorities and not add to a color that would then keep pace with you, because then that would give me points. It's a really weird, wonky scoring system, but the strategy within it is so good.
It is.
I loved it.
I honestly thought that this game was going to be very surface level.
Yeah.
What you saw is what you got. And then after playing 7 rounds, I just thought, wow, this game is so deep. This game, you could do absolutely anything. You could try to finish the game. You could try to prolong the game. You could intentionally collect a certain color the whole game just so you could flip it and have the majority at the end. But then at the same time, even though you collect that certain color, let's say I have 10 of those cards and you have 2. Yeah, I have the majority, but let's say you have, for example, yellow. Let's say I have 10 yellow cards. You have 2 yellow, and then you have a green. Let's say you have all 6.
Yeah.
But all 6 is 0, 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here with 10 points, regardless if I have the majority or not. And then your 0s, 1, 2, or 3 happen to equal 8.
I love those 0 cards, too, because you take them. Even if you end up with not the majority, it's only worth 0 points. So it's in your interest to try to grab those in order to gain more cards of that color. And that's like one of those emerging strategies that I didn't see in the very beginning. And that's the hallmark definition of it. I guess the definition of a good game to me is one that you play the game, it seems simple at first, but then you realize how much strategic depth there is. Even though the rules may not seem that complex. Yeah. And this game seems like there's a lot. I could continue to play this many, many times and try different things. And each time I play, depending on what I'm doing, you'll have to adapt how you're playing in order to match what I'm doing, and vice versa. There's like this weird dance as we play this game. That's why I think this is a good... I was a little bit... So when we picked this game in the store, what is this play? 2 to 6 players. And I'll be completely honest, so when I saw this game in the store, you were really excited about it. I knew that this game was well regarded. As somebody who's played quite a few games in my game boarding journey, as you would call it. Whenever I've seen a very wide player count, like 2 to 6, 2 to 7, 2 to 8, it's not... Like, either side of those player counts is usually not the best. It's usually somewhere in the middle, where it's the best. So when I saw 2 to 6, I thought, well, okay, Julie loves the theme of this game. It's Alice in Wonderland. We're going to have fun regardless. I didn't expect it to be that great with 2 players because it played up to 6.
Right.
But I really think because of this 2-player variant of having to have 2 more cards than the other, that adds this really interesting push and pull of trying to get that many more cards than your opponent. And I really think I would prefer this game with 2 players, even though it plays up to 6. I can only imagine playing at a table full of people, and this game would really drag on, because it says that it plays up to 45-minute play time is what it says on the box.
Yeah.
Our games were around 8 to 13 minutes with just you and I once we learned the game. And I think this is a really perfect 2-player game.
Yeah, and I like that it's 2-player because since it was so short for us to play, we were able to try different strategies all in one, technically, like, game night, you know?
Yeah.
If it only took us about 15 to 20, and 20 being long minutes to play the game, let's say that you're over at a friend's house or a family member's house and you're there for an hour, you could get in 3 games taking 20 minutes and be able to try 3 different strategies. And I think that that's a really cool aspect of Parade.
Yeah.
And I know I'm being slightly biased just because it's Alice in Wonderland theme. But honestly, if it was any other theme but the gameplay is still the same, I would really enjoy it because I love the aspect of the game. Although it has the same cards every time, each game feels different because one, you could try a different strategy every time, and two, you really have to watch the other player because even if you have all 6 colors, you have to be mindful that the other person doesn't have more colors than you. Like, if I'm sitting here with a 10 red, I don't want to be the one that doesn't have the majority in reds because then that's 10 points to me. Well, if I somehow collect the majority in red, I can have that and then have that be counted as ones instead of a 10.
Yeah. So I love all those points. And as you were talking about the different strategies, I was looking back at our different scores because one thing I think is really fascinating about this game is that the point potential for how many points you can earn, which as we mentioned, the goal is to not earn points. There was not that huge of a point difference between us, but between games, the point difference was pretty massive. Some games you and I would score 12 to 15 points, and then other games we would score 45 to 50 points. But in the games that we both scored, or that one of us scored higher, the other person scored higher too, which means that we were watching the other person to match their play style, and it wasn't a matter of how many points, but as long as you had fewer points than your opponent, that's all that mattered.
Right, and you could, as a player, you could really choose to either shorten the game or lengthen the game.
Right.
Because I could see my cards and I could just continuously not lay them down because maybe I was waiting to get a majority of something, or maybe I was seeing if you would complete the game first so that I would have less points. This game, to me, especially as like a new board gamer, and the games that you have shown me, I love the games that you had shown me already in our season 1, but this game is just so intriguing to me. It's so mind captivating that you can change so many things. Like, it really felt so interesting. Like, I don't know if it's just because we only played it 7 times, but I feel like we just scratched the surface of what this game has, like the potential for it.
Right, and like you said, even though the game itself doesn't change, other than just a deck of cards and shuffling them up, the fact that you can explore different things. And I think if I were to compare this game to other games that I've played, and I know people might be wondering what was this compared to, Arboretum is a game that this reminds me of that I would love to show to you sometime, with wonky scoring and very cutthroat. What appears to be a very easy game, but has these cutthroat depths to it. Arboretum, and honestly any Reiner Knizia game. I would say Reiner Knizia is one of my favorite designers, and a little bit of spoiler alert, I plan to show you a few of his games in the next season to see how you like them, because you're a very mathematically minded person, where you can look at colors, you can look at numbers and map things out, and I really think that Reiner Knizia might be one of your favorite designers if you were to play several of his games, because one of the characteristics of a Reiner Knizia game, which, by the way, he has a PhD in mathematics.
Okay.
I call him the Doctor of Fun.
You call him the Doctor of Fun.
Because he takes simple concepts and there's always so much below the surface. The first time you play one of his games, you think, oh, this is all you do. You play a card, you draw a card, you do this or that. Yeah. And that's it. Or you place this or you place that. He does a lot of tile games, a lot of card games with numbers and colors and stuff. But the more you play his games, the more you realize that there are so many cool layers of interaction that he puts within the game, where he gives you a simple rule set and says, here you go, do with it what you want. You can make it your own, you can have your own play style. Almost like, I know you're a fan of chess. Yeah. Chess has so many different play styles within what is a very simple rule set, and a lot of his games feel similar. And Parade feels like it should have been designed by Reiner Knizia, but it was designed by Naoki Homa, who I've never played any of their games before. So, very clean, excellent design style. And I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent there.
No, you're good.
You know, well, I'm fired up and I love a game and I just can't stop talking about it.
You're like, I'm just so fired up right now.
I'm so glad we found it.
I love the comparison to chess because I think you hit it right on the nose. I think that is what it is.
Hit it right on the nose? I don't remember.
Is that not the saying?
I don't know. I've heard so many variations of it. I hit the nail on the head. I've heard
you know what, Dave?
hit it on the nose.
English is hard for me.
Oh.
Is that really not the saying?
I've never heard hit it on the nose before. I don't know. Maybe there's a variation out there.
I mean...
in the Midwest or something. I'm from the West Coast, and I've never heard it here.
I need to take a moment to reflect. But, yes, you really... What did you say? Hit it?
Hit the nail on the head.
You really...
Or hit the... I don't even know anymore.
You really hit the jackpot,
yeah.
babe. You really hit the jackpot with saying that it's like chess, where you have the components, you have the pieces, you have the gameplay style, you know how the pieces move, but you can do anything.
Yeah.
So you can do anything within the parameters of the game, and that's exactly how Parade was. And I think that's why it was very easy for me to really love and enjoy this game. And I'm happy that although you were ever so slightly, I don't know what the word is, deterred? Is that the correct word? Deterred from purchasing it?
Oh, because of the player count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you decided against that and you still purchased it. I understand that I picked it because I was like, ooh, it's Alice in Wonderland themed, but I am happy that you decided to just go with it regardless of me picking it based off of the theme.
Oh, yeah. I was going to get it regardless because you hadn't played any games by that point, and I wanted to find things that you would enjoy, and I knew that because of the theme you would enjoy this one. But it's been... We got this quite a while ago, and we're just playing it now, but...
Yes.
Do you think that this fit into what we were going for to find some spooky themed games? How well do you think this fit into the spooky season?
I definitely think that this is a good game for fall.
Yeah.
And into the spooky season because it kind of has some eerie artwork that I really appreciate and really love.
I agree.
And Alice in Wonderland's just one of those games that's kind of like an all holiday game. You know, you could play it for any holiday. Mm-hmm. You play it for any season. And just with how the aesthetic of the boxes, the colors, the art, I think it really sets the mood for spooky season. So maybe not a Halloween game, but it sets the mood for getting cozy, fast game, something to pull off the shelf really quick, spooky season.
Well, I think that's kind of what we're going for, is games that get you into the spirit of the Halloween season, not necessarily, doesn't have to be overtly a Halloween theme. But
yeah.
So that'd be a little bit harder to find all those games. Maybe not, but we go off of what we have as well.
Well, what you have.
Yeah.
Because if it was up to me, I would go, Dave, I need you to purchase this. It has dinosaurs on it. And you're like,
is there a dinosaur Halloween game? I don't know.
We can make one.
We can make one.
We can make one. I can figure it out. It could be like, this is the Spookosaurus Rex.
Well, thank you for playing this game with me, Julie. I had so much fun.
Yes, and thank you, David, for, taking a leap of faith with me and purchasing it. I really do like this game, and I'm just so shocked still. So, if I had to give it a Meeple score, I would give it a 5 out of 5. And I would never let you trade it away. I would hide it from you. I would keep it somewhere that you couldn't trade it. Not that you would, but I would say it's a keep it to play.
No, that's funny. Keep it to play. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 for me as well. This is my favorite kind of card game, and this would fit into the category of like perfect if you and I were going on a trip and wanted to take a game with us or do anything. Like we'd throw this game in our bag. You could even this deck of cards you could fit anywhere. Right. You have a little tuck box or something. That'd be perfect. So 5 out of 5.
Well, even on the back of the box itself, it does say recommended card sleeves, and most card sleeves come with the little box, the little travel box. So
that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, amazing. Well, thank you for taking this Halloween journey with Parade with me, Julie.
The spooky season entry game.
Yeah, and thank you for listening. That is all that we have for this week, and we hope that you join us next week. We're going to be taking a look at the game Gingerbread House, which I originally thought of as more of a Christmassy themed game, but when I was looking at it, fits more of the Halloween vibes, I think. Okay. So we'll see how we like that.
I'm going to have to trust you on this one. gingerbread. It's called Gingerbread House.
Gingerbread House. So I think like Hansel and Gretel is a little bit creepier of...
Well, gingerbread. You're kind of getting into the season.
Are you thinking of...
I'm thinking of the drink, yes.
Ginger. I love ginger.
Yeah, I'm going to have to process that, but
go
on, sorry.
Well, we hope that you join us on our Instagram page at Dice Jesters, and you can find us at Gmail at thedicechesters@gmail.com. Feel free to email us your questions or just if you want to connect with us. And we look forward to hearing from you next week.
And we also have a Patreon. If you had joined us for season 1 and would like to vote on your top 10, feel free to join our Patreon for free. In there, you can click on the ranking 10 by 10 there and then click the link, and it will bring you to a page where all 10 of the games that we played is listed there, and then you kind of fine-tune it. We would love to hear how your 10 by 10 ranking went, and then we also are on YouTube, so if you want to see a playthrough of Parade, we'll be there, and it'll probably be a fun, short, spooky video. Who knows, we might dress up. Maybe I'll find my Alice in Wonderland costume. I'm not sure.
I have no costumes, but
Spirit of Halloween's open now, so we can maybe find something, but we would love for you to join us there.
Perfect. And until then, as the last piece falls, the shadows are always watching.